Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? It is currently 10:07 p.m. on this mild December evening. It is currently 44 degrees outside. It's actually not very cold outside. It's nice tonight. And I am currently waiting for my vlog to finish processing so that I can post it. It's like taking forever to process. I don't know why. I'm hoping that it's not stuck in processing. Sometimes that happens, and then I have to re-upload the vlog, and if that's the case, it's gonna take me a really long time to upload it because it's like an hour-and-a-half vlog. So if that's the case, the vlog will probably not get up until, I don't know, like 3 in the morning or something, because I'm gonna have to go home and re-upload it. I'm just really hoping that that's not what's happening with it. But anyway, just handle it as we go. And woke up today and literally had completely almost lost my voice. It was like I like couldn't even speak. And I wanted to like get the videos done and stuff today so I can just kind of relax around the house. And I mean, I literally couldn't get on video and talk because I had lost my voice, which is like so crazy. I don't feel sick. My nose is a little runny, but I don't feel sick. But like, I completely lost my voice. And then I was actually like going around the house and I was like la 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 la, and it started coming back because I was like, okay, I've got to make some videos today. This was my plan, you know. And so around 4 o'clock I started getting my voice back a little bit. Somebody just posted, I saw this, well maybe not, they didn't just post it, but I just saw it on the Vloggerinos Facebook group about the video that I did in the woods talking about social anxiety. And there was apparently, I haven't gone back on the video and looked. I need to go back and watch it. It's like at the 17-minute and 50-second mark, I guess. But apparently there was like somebody behind me in the woods, like far off, like some man like walking. And he like stopped and then like backed up and hid behind a tree, and then he like came out and started waving or something. I don't know. It's interesting because I saw people like walking on the, like I was sitting kind of where two paths cross, and I saw like 2 different guys like walk like by me. But so I assumed at one point they had been behind me, which is like whatever, you know, you're out there in a, you know, a public park, so people are going to be walking around you. But I thought I was like far enough off that like people couldn't hear what I was saying or talking about or whatever, which honestly I didn't really care if they did. You know, people just like go out there and they just walk to walk. But this guy, the picture that somebody posted on the Facebook group, the Vloggerinos, that guy, I'll have to go back and watch the video. I didn't see him out there. I remember there was a guy in a blue jacket, and it was like a bright blue jacket. And then there was an older gentleman, and he was like walking in front of me, and I don't think it was him either. And I was like, this is kind of bizarre. Like, I didn't see this person. And then apparently he comes out and waves or something. I'll have to go back and look at it. Maybe I'll pull in here. I'll go to the post office and pull in and look at the video real quick and see. It's kind of weird, isn't it? So when I got up today, I made some videos. I did a drama video, and then I did a video of my K-Cup collection for my Peter Does Stuff channel, which I'm sure is super exciting over there. But I had fun showing all of that because I'm really excited about the different K-Cups that I bought. Tonight I am drinking from, I think it was the Cake Boss one. It's called Gone Bananas Foster, like Gone Bananas, but it's called Gone Bananas Foster. I do love this cup so much. It's so pretty, isn't it? This one is really good. They're all really good. There's not really any in there. I just don't love the chocolatey ones. I don't know why. That's just not my favorite flavor of any of them. So we got made this, and then Alex came home and he was hungry for pizza, so we got Papa John's pizza, and then we started watching The Real Housewives of Orange County. We got like halfway through it, and then we just stopped watching it. It's like I guess it's new, and there's all these new housewives on there. There's like this Dr. Jen, and then I think there's 2 other housewives, but I don't really know anything about them. Heather Dubrow is on there, Gina, Emily, Shannon. I used to watch Real Housewives of Orange County a lot back in the day, but then there were like several seasons in a row that I missed, and I completely just, like the whole like Vicky and Tamra storyline got so old to me that I kind of stopped watching it around that time. And then I honestly never thought Vicky would leave the show, because she used to always be like, you know, when they did the reunions and stuff, she was like, well, I allow you to be on this show and stuff like that. It was like, she was so arrogant about being like the OG of all of the shows. Which was funny because, like, when the show started, I didn't necessarily like Vicky at the beginning. I think I must have watched the very first season. I always, like, miss, like, the first 2 seasons of shows, which is why it's, like, important for me to watch Salt Lake City. Because I always miss, like, the first 2 seasons that I'm, like, catching up, which is really why I, like, never watched New Jersey, and I never watched the Potomac, because I got, like, behind. I was, like, 2 seasons behind. And I will say this about The Real Housewives, it's not a show that's, like, difficult to go into, like, just on a random season if you haven't watched it before. I mean, you can pick up at any season. And you can actually pick up, like, halfway through the season and just kind of, like, there's been whole seasons that I haven't watched, and I'll sit down there and watch the reunion with Alex just because I'm interested in it. And, so, I mean, you could watch the reunion and kind of get an idea of what happened the whole season. Not all of it, but, you know. But it's not one of those shows where it's, like, super, you have to keep up with everything. It would really be helpful because then you would know the ins and outs of all of their relationships and stuff like that. But, what was I gonna say? So, yeah. And then Alex was tired, so he was like, I'm gonna go to bed. And I said, okay. And I was gonna try to lay down for a little bit, and then I couldn't lay down. So I was like, I'm just gonna go vlog right now, and then I'll get my vlog done early. And at some point, I'm gonna have to go back and post the vlog because, yeah, I wanna get it up. Well, that was the other thing, is I kind of forgot, like, I rendered it, and then I forgot to I thought I had already started uploading it, and I didn't. And it took like 3 hours to upload. And so I didn't start uploading it until like 7 o'clock. So that's part of the reason why it's like so behind getting up today. It'll get up, it'll be fine. Oh man. Oh. Other than that, that was kind of my day. I don't think I really even talked to anybody on the phone today. Isn't that crazy? I sometimes go like entire days or 2 days where I don't even talk to another person on the phone besides my husband. Tanya called me earlier, and I called her back, and she didn't answer, so we didn't talk today. Valerie and I were texting a little bit. But yeah, like whole days will happen where I don't talk to people. And it's crazy, like, working alone, you know, and being at home with the dogs and stuff. It's like, I don't know, it's sometimes weird to me that I just, like, don't really interact with people, like, much throughout the day, you know? Yeah, I don't interact with a whole lot of people at night either, but... Listen to more of my audiobook. I can't believe it's taken me, like over a week to read this book, or listen to this book, like a week and a half. I get in my car, and I turn on Christmas music, and then I just kind of like drive around and I'm like in this Christmas music haze. And then like I turn on the audiobook, which I like, and I'm like, it's super intense, right? Like it's gotten to this point where it's like all this intensity is happening in the book. And I'm kind of like, oh, that's a lot. Like, you know, like I don't know what to do about all that. Like, yeah, anyway. I still have like over 3.5 hours to listen to it. This guy just turned on a red light. You turned on a red light, sir? I would love just to like drive around tonight for 3.5 hours and just like finish it. But I'm tired and I know that that's not gonna happen. I just know that that's not reality. Like that's not gonna happen, you know? So maybe, I don't know, if I got my second wind. Sometimes when I drive around and I vlog and I drink coffee and then like all of a sudden I kind of get my second wind, you know? It was weird today. Something that I was looking at, it was like I ordered it or something was gonna like arrive and it said the arrival date was the 17th. And it's so weird to me that that date is like such an important date in my life, December 17th, because it's my sobriety birthday, but that, like to the rest of the world, it doesn't really like mean anything. You know, I mean, I guess it's the same as like people's birthdays, right? But it's always so weird to me because it's like the ending and the beginning. Like, I mean, it is very much to me that like, almost more so than like the beginning of the year or, you know, my birthday. It's like, which I do like, you know, celebrate those things as well. And look at like the beginning of a new year, or the beginning of a new age and all that kind of stuff. But almost more with my sobriety, I look at it that way. And I do a lot of reflection over like, okay, what do I want to spend the next year focusing on? And where would I like to be the next year, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And, I don't even really know consciously like what my personal goals were last year, because I do think a lot about it, like on my sobriety birthday. And I usually like sit down and write some things out, and I honestly don't really remember consciously what my personal goals were last year. I'm gonna pull into the post office up here. Tanya and I were talking about it the other day though, and she's like, I know, she's like, because we like in sobriety, we call our birthdays, we call them our belly button birthdays. And she was like, my sobriety birthday is more important to me than my belly button birthday. And I was like, yeah, me too. It's so weird, isn't it? Because I know how much people love their birthdays and stuff. And I love my birthday too, but my sobriety birthday is just more important to me. Okay, I'm gonna watch this video clip really quick. Hold on just a second. Okay, get a text, respond. Okay. Peter does stuff. I can't show the video because if I show it, even though it's my video, it'll copyright strike it. And that's so stupid. Anyway, okay, my social anxiety. It immediately went over here. Tried to start playing it. Okay. Okay, here I am in the woods. I need to get my glasses out so I can see this. Oh, I'm right at the 17:50. Oh, 17 minutes and 47 seconds. I don't see anybody there. $18 minutes. Hold on a second. Let me go in here and see. Because I just posted it. I just saw this over here. That's not it. What is this? Okay. Why can't I find this picture? Oh my gosh, I just saw this. Maybe I was like looking through. I'm gonna have to go to, okay, the posts. Because somebody like circled it. I swear I just saw this. What is this? What's this about the Christmas cards? I'm confused. What's the Christmas card? Okay, here it is. I don't know what the Christmas card thing is about. I'm gonna have to read that in just a second. I'm so confused. What is this? Okay, this is a YouTube video by Co. Hensley. It said, opening Christmas cards from Vloggerinos. Thank you all so much for your lovely Christmas cards. I feel so very loved by this whole group. I've never had so many good Judies before. Thank you. Aww. What is the Christmas card thing? How did I miss that? I haven't been over here in a couple days. Okay, tell me I'm not the only one who noticed this guy in Peter's video around the 1750 mark. He walks in, sees Peter, stands there for a bit, then walks away to hide behind a tree, then walks forward again and stands there and waves. Super creepy, they said. Okay. I'm just gonna watch it leading up to the 1750 mark. Okay, we're at 17, almost 20. $17.30. Still don't see anybody. $17.41. Oh, there he is. Oh, he's standing there. And he's just watching me talk. Oh, he does go stand behind the tree. Oh my God, how weird is that? Like, stays there for a while. He's like peeking his head around the side. Okay, then he steps out. And he's standing there. Oh, and he waves. That is so weird, you guys. And then he walks on, he's got like a walking stick. Okay. 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 What is the Christmas card thing? I love that everybody is making these videos. Okay, yeah, here, this is from earlier. I saw this one. If you have your own YouTube channel, please share links, videos below. Did I miss the Christmas? How could I'm looking through these and I'm like, I know these posts. So how did I miss the Christmas one? Or the Christmas card one? You guys, I don't understand. I guess I missed it too. What is there about the Christmas cards? I'm looking. I don't see it. Did I miss something about the Christmas cards? Anyway, I was wanting to have up the instructions for the Cozy Christmas contest today, but I just didn't get to it. I also didn't post my picture on Instagram of the December books, and it's December 2nd, so I'll have to do that tomorrow. What was I just going to do? Oh, I was going to look and see if my vlog is done processing yet. Which apparently it probably isn't. Do. It's just buffering now. It won't let me see if it's. This is like the story of my life today. Oh, I can see it. Hold on. It still isn't done processing. Oh shoot! I'm gonna have to. I hope I don't have to upload it on my phone. It's been uploading for like over 3.5 hours now. I wish it would come up though, because I'm like ready to go home and get it posted. Okay, I'm confused. Can somebody let me know in the comment section, because I do not. When is here? My friend's having a Christmas party. When is it? January 15th. I guess I have a while for that, right? Oh well, I don't know. Can somebody let me know about the Christmas card thing? Because I'd like to be part of that as well. And since I'm at the post office, should I go inside and check and see if I have any Christmas cards? You know, I picked up a package last week at the post office. I had like all these notices saying that I had all these packages, and so I went in and they said that I only had one package. And so I was like, I have all these notices for just one package. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, I hope she went back there and looked at all of the places. Because usually when I have that many notices, it's because I have more than one package. So, because I don't want people's stuff to get returned. I'll feel bad, you know. All right, I'm going to go in here and I am going to see if I have anything in my post office box, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. You guys, I was like sitting in there and I was like, when did I go to the post office last? And I thought it was last week, but it was actually like Monday. I think it was Monday. And I'm like, I got into my mailbox and I have like all of these cards, you guys. I have like tons and tons of cards. And I also have a package that I have to go pick up. I'm just like, oh my God. And then I had a package from Amazon. So let's open this first. I was like, I can't believe this. It's just been a couple days and there's so much in there. What is this? something. Is this a, oh my God. Is this a scarf? What's the note inside? Hold on a second. So sweet. Merry Christmas, Peter. Much love from your vloggerino. Love, Allison. Aww. What is this? A winter scarf. A plaid winter scarf. Oh, I love this. And it's tartan red. Oh my God, it's beautiful. Oh my gosh, look at that. Oh my God, I love it. Oh my God, I love this so much. This is so perfect. Ho, ho, ho. I love it. Allison, I would wear it, but it's a little warm tonight. I don't need it quite tonight. Oh my God, this is beautiful. I love it. Oh my gosh, this is so fantastic. Okay, well, I feel like I should probably open these cards on camera. So hold on a second. Let me open this first one. This, I think, is a wedding invitation, actually. Save the date for the upcoming marriage between Kelsey and Nick for next October. Okay, in Kansas City. Oh my God. How exciting. Oh, and they have a website and everything, so I'll have to go check out the website. So congratulations, Kelsey and Nick. I have to tell you what's funny is, I get quite a few save the dates, which I absolutely love that I get this. I feel like there's something else in here, but there's not. I thought it's just inside the envelope. Okay. And then, this is from Amy. Oh, this is Thanksgiving card. Happy Thanksgiving. Wishing you an extra big helping of happiness. The live stream was great. Can't wait to see the pie cake in. I've been praying for Tucker, you, Alex, and Boo. Wishing you an extra big helping of happiness. So when people send me personal notes, I don't want to just like cold read it. I want to go in and or like read it on camera. I want to make sure I can go in and read it. So, okay, the next one is from Lauren. So thank you, Amy, for that card. And oh my God, it's beautiful. It's a car, and there's a little dog looking like a snowball or something. Oh no, it's the car window. All the Xmas happy, Lauren, a fellow vloggerino. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for bringing such amazing people together. Your videos are so inspirational, entertaining. Please never change, be too much. Oh, I love that, Lauren. Thank you. Guys, this was so nice. And then this one is from Karen. I love to see where people are from. Lauren is from Texas. Karen is from Florida. Ooh, this is pretty. It's like a very nautical Christmas tree. Nautical, not naughty. And it's got like sailboats on the side and seashells all over the Christmas tree. That would actually be a really cool Christmas tree. Sending you warmest wishes for a Merry Christmas season. Vloggerino and BookTube fan, thank you for all you do. Karen from Florida. Hey, Karen. Oh my God, this is so fun. Okay. And then the next one is from Jennifer from California. Oh, the peanuts. The peanuts. I said peanut. The peanuts, my favorite. Oh, I love them. To Peter, Alex, Boo, and Tucker, sing a song of Christmas, make a joyful noise, let everyone rejoice. I hope you all have a warm and cozy Christmas and Happy New Year. Love, Jennifer, Ken, and Logan. Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. Okay, the next one is from Wendy from Texas. Lots of Texas people in the house. Hello, Texas. Let it snow. This is a beautiful card. Okay. And when you open it, sending you warmest wishes for a wonderful and cozy, she wrote in, holiday season. Peter, I've been a faithful vloggerino ever since my sister, April, introduced me to your channels a few months ago. My drives into, I'm trying to like read it a sentence ahead in case there's something I shouldn't read. My drives into work are so much more enjoyable now that I use this time to listen to your vlog. Thank you for being so consistent. I really look forward to it. And may you and your sweet family have a blessed Christmas and New Year. Oh, thank you. Love you, Peter. Your story is very inspiring, and I admire you for it. Oh, I love that so much. Thank you, Wendy. Okay. The next one is from Brandy from Missouri. Brandy from Missouri. Oh, Snoopy. I love Snoopy so much. And Woodstock. Hope your holidays are filled with sweet surprises that keep you smiling all season long. Brandy. Fellow Vloggerino. Peter, have a wonderful Christmas and a very happy New Year. Wishing Alex Tucker, Boo Radley, and yourself blessings, joy, love, and nothing except for the best. Thank you for being too much. Oh, I love that. And the next one is from Trish. And Trish also sent a card for Alex. So I will save that for Alex. Put this over there. Let's open mine. And this is from Trish from Kentucky. Hey, Trish from Kentucky. We're pretty close. Ooh, oh, it's got a cardinal on it for my mom for Christmas. Tidings of comfort and joy. Wishing you a Merry Christmas and best wishes for the new year. With love. Oh, this is from Bunny. Hey, Bunny. I hope you and Alex and the dogs have a great holiday season. Keep being awesome. Oh, thank you, Bunny. I love Bunny so much. She's so sweet. Okay, so those are the Christmas cards. Wow, you guys are so fantastic. I love it. Why is my radio playing? I think I'm gonna have to go home and fix this vlog because it's still not uploaded. I'm gonna have to go home and I think I'm gonna have to upload it on my phone, which means sometimes when I do that, it like uploads quicker. Like if I start uploading it on my phone, the thing is it's gonna take me like a half an hour just to airdrop it to my phone. But if I do that, then sometimes it forces the processing of the first one, which is kind of what I'm hoping that will happen. So I don't know, we'll see. So I am going to, here I'm gonna put all the cards in here. So I can take that inside. Here are my reading glasses. Okay. On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me. Well, that was fun. I gotta remember to stop at the post office tomorrow so that I can pick up that package. I don't really know what plans I have for the weekend. I don't have anything tomorrow other than make some videos and tomorrow night. And then I think Jason and Melissa were gonna go, I can't remember who it is, Lil Jon or somebody, at a club downtown. And Alex was asking me tonight if I wanted to go, and I was like, well, maybe not so much for the music, but I think for the being social of it, that would be kind of fun. So I might do that on Saturday night. I haven't decided yet. And then Sunday, I'm sure just like hanging out and getting brunch or something. And then, oh, the book club is on Sunday. Yeah, we have the book club on Sunday. So that'll be good. Excited about that. The book club, the book club. Speaking of that, I'm gonna listen to a little bit of my audiobook between now and when I, because I'm kind of like fixated on getting this vlog up, getting my vlog up until I get home. And then I will come back out and vlog for a little bit more and tell some stories and share some things of my life. And I will be back in just a little bit hopefully once I get the vlog up. So I will be back then. Bye. Okay, I'm back. How are you guys doing? So, do you remember earlier in the vlog, for you it was like 2 minutes ago, for me it was like hours ago, and I said if I'm really struggling with this vlog, it'll be like 3 o'clock in the morning. I literally posted the vlog right at about 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh, what a mess. I think it was because it was so long and I was doing so many different things on my computer at the same time that I think it just took so long to upload. I don't know. But I got home and it was just stuck at 100% processing. And so then I airdropped, well, then I started uploading it again on my computer because I thought maybe that would trigger it. Because sometimes, like, if you're uploading it, like, anyway, if I uploaded it both on, like, the computer or both on the phone, sometimes it triggers the previous one to, like, to finish. And, I know this is so boring, but I'm just telling you. Anyway, and, so I started uploading it on the computer again, and it said it was going to take like an hour and a half, an hour and 30 some minutes to upload, and I was so tired. And so I was like, okay, so I started airdropping it from my phone, and it has to like prepare it, and then it uploads it, and I just sat there while it like prepared it. And then when it got to the uploading part, it said 49 minutes. And I was like, I cannot just sit here and look at my phone for 49 minutes. Oh my God. And now my battery is about to die. So I'm going to keep on talking until my battery dies, and then I'll replace my battery. But, so I went upstairs and I was talking to Alex a little bit. And, he had just taken a shower and stuff. And he was like getting ready for bed, and he was reading some article on his phone. So I was like, I'm just gonna lay here for a little bit, but I didn't have a phone to set an alarm. So I honest to God did not think that I would fall asleep that deep. And I woke up and it was 2:50 in the morning. And I had slept so peacefully, and little Boo Radley was pushed right up against my back, and I was on my side. So I got my clothes on and I took the dogs outside. Boo Radley hadn't finished his dinner earlier, so I sat in the kitchen. If you stand there while he's eating, he'll finish eating. So I stood there in the kitchen and watched him finish most of his, he finished almost all of it, which I was very proud of him. I said, good boy, good boy. He just kept on looking. He'd eat a little bit, and then I'd say, good boy, Boo Radley, and then he'd look up at me, and then I'd say, good boy, Boo Radley, and then he'd eat a little bit more, and then he'd look up at me, and I'd say, good boy, Boo Radley, and he'd eat a little. It was so funny. So anyway, he looks like a little, like, wolf or fox or something now that his hair's growing out his little ears and stuff. He's so cute. And Tucker's back is almost completely healed. Alex was like, I can't believe that it healed so quickly. That spray, I swear by that spray for hot spots. But anyway, so I laid down and I woke up at like 2:50, and then it was uploaded. And the one that I had been uploading, the newest one on the computer that I had started uploading was completed, and the one on my phone was completed, and the one that was stuck at 100% still was not completed. So had I not started to upload the other two, it would never have, like, I never would have gotten a vlog up tonight. I don't know what happened. After all these years on being on YouTube and having videos get stuck in the this happens quite a bit. I mean, this is a common error that happens. After all these times of having videos get stuck in processing, I still to this day don't know why that happens. But if you read articles, it'll say because the file's too long or whatever. But I mean, I've never had this problem before, and I've uploaded. I mean, I have had this problem before, but like not consistently. Where I can't upload long video vlogs. You know, it's not like it happens every time. So anyway. Something is going on out here. There's these two cars, like, parked next to each other at 10 till 4 in the morning. So anyway, hold on, let me change the battery and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So, what was I saying? So yeah, so anyway, the vlog is up. And then I got online and I was looking at these Tervis cups again because I wanted to see if they had any holiday cups. And so, because I'm going to get a case of Diet Coke so I can start drinking some Diet Cokes during the evening too. And so I bought 2 Tervis cups that, the Tervis are those double insulated cups. One has Snoopy's Christmas on it, or Peanuts Christmas on it, and the other one is the Grinch. I mean, and those are things I can save for years to come, you know, and use them. It's not like I can just use them this year. And then I also bought 2 of their insulated mugs that have a handle on it. They're both clear. One has a clear lid or like a white lid on it, and one has a black lid on it. And those should be here tomorrow. I'm really excited about that. I really love the Tervis things. I actually think those make great Christmas presents. And Tervis has a website on Amazon, so you can just order them straight off of Amazon. And they have all different kinds of prices and whatever, and you can like design your own. But there's tons of designs on there. I actually thought, you know what? Because Tanya drinks so much Diet Coke, like, well, she doesn't drink so much Diet Coke, but she like gets fountain pops and stuff, you know? But at home, she'll get like a case of Diet Coke and then just drink a Diet Coke. I think I'm gonna get her one that has a lid on it, so that that's like one of the things I'm gonna get her for Christmas, so that she can like make a Diet Coke and then put it in her, take it around with her in her car. And I might get Caroline one too. I just really, really like those Tervis cups. So anyway, then I was looking at other stuff on Amazon and things for people that they had asked for Christmas. And I was looking to see if I could just order it on there and how hard that would be. So yeah, that's that. And then I made another cup of coffee. Here, I had so many cups of, well, I haven't had so many cups of coffee today, but I keep on making all these cups of coffee. So I have this one, which is from earlier. I don't even remember what, this is the Gone Bananas Foster, which is so weird. It's still a little bit warm after all these hours. And then I made, this one is called, this is the roasted chestnuts, and this is from this new coffee company. I feel like sometimes when like I'm talking on my other videos, I just assume that you guys know what I'm talking about. So on my Peter Does Stuff channel today, I did a video showing all of my holiday K-Cups, and I just ordered these K-Cups from Amazon that were called Crazy Cups, and they had all these fantastic different flavor names. Now, I don't know how good they are. Earlier today, I tried a spicy gingerbread, and it was really, really good. This is called Roasted Chestnut. And I have to tell you, smelling it, like it really smells like like nuts. Like I don't even know how to say it any different than that. You know, like when you smell like organic peanut butter, that's what this kind of smells like. But not peanut butter, just like roasted nuts. Like it does smell like roasted chestnuts. Alex and I were talking about this the other night. We were coming home from somewhere, and I was like, because you know the Christmas station's always on, and so I was singing, chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Anyway, I said to Alex, I said, have you ever had roasted chestnuts? And he was like, no. And he goes, have you? And I go, you know, I don't think I have. And he goes, I thought you had them at something. And I was like, did I? I don't think I ever have had roasted chestnuts, but I would like to. I would like to try roasted chestnuts. I feel like that's a thing. Like walking in the streets in New York City that they have. But I don't think I've ever had it. But I'm going to try roasted chestnut coffee right now. Are you ready? Okay, let's go. Not bad. I wouldn't say it's my favorite. But it is a medium blend, which I like. It would depend. Okay, this is one that I would like say for a certain mood, because it's very nutty. Like it would be fun to drink. Like it really does taste like roasted nuts. Like it would be really fun to drink if it was like heavy snows outside and you were driving around running, you know what I mean, listening to Christmas music, running errands or something like that. It's not bad. You know what I think though is, I don't think that I put a sweet and low in it. That is really good. Sometimes it takes me a couple sips. I really like that. Because it's not super, super strong. It's like, the smell is very strong, but the flavor is pretty subtle. I like that. I actually like that better than the other one that I have here. I could just be a coffee taster. I could have 100 channels on YouTube. I swear, I think of stuff all the time. I could just be a channel where I try like a new, you know, like K-Cup, and every day it was a new K-Cup. And my videos would be like 2 minutes long. Oh my God, I should totally do that. I could do that on my review video channel. I could just do shorts. K-Cup shorts. I might do that this month. That's not a bad idea. I don't really know how to do those shorts things. They're like, they constantly push them to like do them, but I don't really understand how to do them. So I guess I need to try. I guess I just need to start them and try, you know? I think they're kind of like TikToks, maybe. I don't know. I don't get it. Oh my gosh. So while I was, I woke up and I got all of these tweets, like these direct messages from people asking me like, well, what do you think about this? And what do you think about that? And what do you think about this? And it's interesting because I may do a video about this tomorrow, but Demi Lovato came out today and said that, I guess she put it on her Instagram. I went in and took a picture of it, but she said she no longer supports California sober, that the only way for her is sober, which I thought was interesting. You know, one of the questions that I have gotten, it's interesting because people think I'm being really sensitive about like how I talk about this. They're like, you don't really want to say anything about, I mean, I've gotten some direct messages from people that were like, you know, like, you're so afraid to say that you don't like California sober and whatever. And I'm like, I don't really have, I mean, I have my opinions about California sober as far as how it would work for me. But other than that, like, I don't really have strong suggestions or strong opinions about California sober. I don't have strong opinions about a lot of other things to do with addiction, because what I've realized is, and there was a period of my life where I really did have strong opinions about that stuff, but what I've realized is that I can only speak to my experience, strength, and hope, and I can't speak to what somebody else, you know, has gone through or what they have figured out. All I know is that I hope that people don't give Demi Lovato a hard time because she's now figured out a different road for her. You know, thank God she's not dead. That's how I feel about it, right? Whatever got her to the point that she's at, you know, I don't know, and maybe she'll come out and talk more about that. I think it's interesting that in 2021, just because these people are celebrities, we look at them as voices of reason. I mean, if you really want to know what you think about somebody that's California sober, why don't you ask somebody that's been following being California sober for 20 or 30 years? Just like if you want to ask somebody how recovery works, you know, like in a 12-step program, ask somebody that's been sober for 30 or 40 years. Why would you go to somebody that's been sober for 6 months and say, tell us everything, you know, that there is and how, you know, like this really works? Like, I mean, that just is interesting to me. It's like you wouldn't like have, you know, on, you know, you wouldn't go to an expert opinion about anything, whether that was from anything medical to legal to whatever. But then when it's a lot of this kind of stuff, it's always like, well, there's opinions. It's like, this is just me. And like I said, I can only speak about myself. But when I want suggestions on, I don't know, I have like an idea in my mind of why or where I was going. Oh, I got off the interstate because I was changing my battery. I was like, why did I go this way? I don't remember why I went this way, because this was not my plan of when I started vlogging tonight. But anyway, you know, like when I want suggestions for something in recovery, and this doesn't necessarily just have to do with how many years sober somebody has been, but it does seem to coincide, or it does seem to correlate to that. It's like, if I want suggestions on how to do something, it's like, you know, like, okay, for example, like if I wanted suggestions on buying property, I would go to somebody that has, like, we have friends of ours that own lots of property, or that they, you know, whatever. So I would go to somebody that seemed to be successful at what they were doing. Just like in sobriety, when I need suggestions about something to do with sobriety or life skills or whatever, if I don't go to my sponsor, I'll go to somebody that has, you know, 30 or 40 plus years that I respect, who works the similar program to me, and I'll say, hey, here's my situation, you know, like, what do you think about this? Like, what, you know, like, I don't know, like a couple years ago when, well, this has now been almost 10 years ago, but when my sponsor suggested that I change up all of my meetings, you know, I went to like a another two friends of mine, and I said, this is what he's suggesting. Like, do you have meetings that you would suggest that I go to? Where do you, what do you think about this? And are there people that I should, like meet at these meetings and whatever? And they were, yeah, this person is, fantastic, and these are meetings that I think would be really helpful for you. And, and that's what I did. So I think it's interesting that it's like Demi Lovato speaks and we all listen. It's like, I only wish Demi Lovato the best. And to me, it's not about who's right or who's wrong or what mode of sobriety is better and all that kind of stuff. To me, it's about, thank God the girl is still alive. I mean, she's unbelievably talented. That's, I think, goes without saying, and people love her, and she's a role model to millions. I mean, thank God. And she's just a human being, thank God she's still alive and she didn't die from this. I mean, I think that's kind of what's missed sometimes in this discussion is the treachery and what addiction is really about. I mean, it's killing people, like, all the time. It's killing people. I mean, just Google the statistics and look at the people that are dying, and it's so heartbreaking, right? That, I don't think we should be discussing whether this person's right or wrong or whatever, I mean, if somebody said to me, well, my plan is that I'm just making this up. I don't know where I'm coming from this except for I just passed this like boating place. But if somebody said, okay, so for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to quit drinking and using drugs, and I'm going to replace it with going fishing every day. And, my higher power is going to be the water, and when I want to drink, I'm going to flick a rubber band on my wrist. What do you think? I'd say, and honest to God, I mean, on YouTube or in my personal life, what I would say to that person is, and I have said these kinds of things to people, that's not what I would do. That's not what would work for me. I hope it works for you. I hope that's, I hope that you have good results from that. If you want to know what I do, I'll share my experience, strength, and hope with you, but that's your plan, And, as a very dear friend of mine says to me a lot, which I think this is interesting when we talk about celebrities and addiction, who are always telling you what their plan is and what they're going to do. I have a very, very dear friend of mine that's been sober for, almost 30 years at this point. And he always says, give me the man that has no plan, and I'll show you a man that's going to be successful in sobriety. And I think that's it, because so many people come in and it's like they want to tell you what they're going to do. Well, when I got sober, it wasn't about me telling somebody what I was going to do. It was them telling me. I mean, I had my first sponsor told me that, I think it was my first or second sponsor, said, you need to shut your mouth and open your ears. I mean, that was something that we used to say to people back in the day. When I got sober, and I'm just being real about this, people weren't super nice about it. It's like we have these sayings, love and tolerance is our code, and we'll love you until you love yourself. And I believe those things, right? But I don't know that there were times that I really understood that how people were speaking to me related to love. Nobody was ever mean to me. But were people direct? Very direct. Very direct. People would say, what makes you unique? Why do you think you're different and you don't have to do these things that we've all had to do? If you really want to stay alive and you really want this thing, you better hold on to it with everything you got. I mean, I am so thankful to the men and women that were so direct with me and just, really were not hard mean, but hard loving to me, in this program, that they really cared a lot about me and told me what I needed to hear, not what I wanted to hear. When I would start saying yes, but, and they'd say, let us know how that works out for you. Okay. And we'll see you next week. That kind of thing. 'Cause they were like, we've been there, and I don't know. I can tell you that California sober wouldn't work for me. This idea of moderation. And somebody sent me this article, and I was reading the article because they said, I want to know what you think about this. And apparently this Ken, this interventionist, is he the interventionist that used to be on that show, Intervention? He said, God, Tanya loves that show, Intervention. She told me the other day, she was like, I was watching all these episodes of Intervention. She goes, Peter, she goes, I didn't even know that show was still on. I can't believe those people do not know that when they're being followed around by a camera, that's like, they're on a TV show. How do they not know that? Like, seriously? Like, I don't get it. But anyway, Tanya was watching one of them, and she said, it just breaks my heart. She was like, it reminds me of so-and-so that we know. This young girl, and it's like, that's sometimes like why I don't always watch those shows. I used to like watch all of it, all the intervention, all the addiction shows, all that kind of stuff. Sometimes it just makes me too sad, honestly. But I like to live in hope. But I was reading this article, and this Ken guy said, and I'll talk more about it if I do a video about it tomorrow. I know probably not that many people care, but he said that Demi Lovato and other people that are supportive of this California sober idea are really, it's dangerous, because that addicts by nature cannot use in moderation. And so if you're getting people to believe in that and they think they can use in moderation, they're going to end up dying. Well, that's absolutely 100% correct. I mean, if you believe in the disease concept of addiction, which I don't argue with people about this anymore. Believe what you want to believe, but when people are like, addiction's not a disease, I mean, it's 2021, you guys. I mean, it is a disease as defined by the American Medical Association. It has identifiable signs and symptoms to it. It is diagnosable. It is fatal if untreated. I mean, to me, when people say to me, well, addiction's not a disease, it's like that. It's really today like saying that like diabetes isn't a disease. It really truly is. And that there's not a treatment protocol that goes along with it and things like that. And it's been that way for a long time. But I don't get into arguments with people about that, because it's just like people are going to believe what they want to believe. But if you truly believe that addiction is a disease, and you believe in the American Medical Association and what it says on there, and that it has identifiable signs and symptoms, that it's progressive, that it is fatal if untreated, and all of these things, right? Then how does California sober align with that? Like, I'm just asking, like, if you believe in all of that, then California sober is not a realistic treatment option to a disease that, if untreated, is fatal, and that it has identifiable signs and symptoms, and that it's progressive. Because a disease that is progressive tells you that if you continue to suffer these symptoms, that it's going to get worse, right? And it's going to lead to fatality. So if you continue to use, aren't you progressing the disease, even if you're using on a minimal level? So the thing that I have to believe, and this, I don't know if many people know this. I mean, I could get into all of this about addiction for hours, but, there's different stages of addiction. Addiction is like a train that moves in one direction on a train track, okay? So you start early, experimentation, right? And then experimentation goes to early abuse, which is a stage of addiction. Early abuse goes to, I can't remember the next stage, but it's like middle, early, or something like that. And then it goes to, what's the next one? It starts with a D. I can't remember. But anyway, it goes all the way to chronic degenerative. And chronic degenerative stage of this disease is basically where you're seeing people that are incontinent, people that, cannot function, people that go through DTs like I had, if they're going through withdrawals, they're having major withdrawal symptoms, people that are dependent physically, and that can be an abuse early too. But it's like middle. What's the middle one? It's right in the middle of it. But it's a train track that moves in one direction. It doesn't move back. So by the time that you've gotten to chronic degenerative, you're probably never going to be able to, the disease concept tells us that you're not going to be able to ever use successfully again without it taking you to these medical heights, right? Okay, so if that's the case, what I have to believe is that people that are successful on California sober are not really at a certain stage. It's like once you hit a certain stage, you can't really go back. So they must still be early on somewhere in their sobriety, I also, to be honest with you, and this is just my 2 cents, but I have a lot of people, and do what works best for you. But a lot of people will say to me, well, I'm sober from this or I'm sober from that, but I still smoke pot every day. And I'm like, okay, and this is just how I feel about it. This is just my experience, strength and hope, okay? And then they'll say, but I'm still sober. And to me, as defined by a 12-step program that believes that sobriety is complete purity, okay, I don't see that as sober. That's just me, right? Do I think they're saving their lives? Yes, but that's not even the issue to me. The issue to me is that it makes me sad, right? Because if I could smoke pot every day, well, first of all, if I was smoking pot every day, it would probably lead me back to other things because I loved smoking pot. I smoked pot like nobody's business. And that's why this alcoholic and addict chooses not to smoke pot and not to use over-the-counter things, because my mind can twist it into thinking that it's okay. I mean, I truly think like I could probably take Tylenol PMs and convince myself it's okay to the point where I was abusing them. I really believe that. That's how sick my addiction is, okay? But what it makes me sad about this is that 12-step programs, if you choose to work one, are really not about the substance. The substance is but a symptom of the disease. It's really about emotional sobriety and who are we when we put the drink and the drug down. And I think that's the biggest misconception that people don't understand about 12-step programs. I think people think that we're just sitting there talking about how thirsty we are for a drink, which I'm not going to say that that doesn't ever happen, because that does, right? And I think that's really a big part about early sobriety. But ongoing sobriety is really about who am I once I put the drink or the drug down, right? Like, that's what the working of the steps are. And if you look at any 12-step program, whatever, if you're talking about, you know, alcohol, drugs, gambling, food, anything, only really the first step ever has anything to do with the substance that you're talking about, you know? So only the first step is the one that says anything about the actual substance. The rest of the steps don't say anything about that substance. I don't know if you don't know that, go Google the 12 steps of, you know, Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous or Overeaters Anonymous or Gamblers Anonymous, and what you will see, Cocaine Anonymous, Heroin Anonymous, Marijuana Anonymous, what you will find is that the first step will say something to the effect of, I am, God, why can't I even think right now, my brain? This is my brain on drugs. No. Admitted to myself and to others that I was powerless over whatever substance, alcohol, drugs, heroin, you know, marijuana, cocaine, whatever, and that my life had become unmanageable. And then that's step one, right? Okay, so other than that, all the other steps, 2 and 3 are about a higher power, 4 and 5 are about inventory, 6 and 7 are about character defects, 8 and 9 are about making amends, 10 is about daily inventory, 11 is about conscious contact with our higher power, and 12 is about as a result of having had a spiritual awakening, as a result of doing these steps, we carry this message. So it's about service work, it's about applying these principles in all of our affairs. None of it is about that actual piece of what that's about. And I think that's the misconception about 12-step programs. So really what 12-step programs are about are A, how to teach you, first of all, what you do is you have to learn abstinence from that, what it's about, drugs or alcohol. And like in Alcoholics Anonymous, you know, they, like, Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous, which are different but similar, like Narcotics Anonymous will tell you that alcohol is a drug. It says it in their preamble. And Alcoholics Anonymous believes that drugs, you know, that you shouldn't be using those either. And I can tell you Cocaine Anonymous, Heroin Anonymous, Marijuana Anonymous, all those programs believe the same thing. So, the first thing is to learn abstinence, okay, from step 1. I mean, if you're admitting that you're powerless over a substance, then you can't use that substance anymore, or your life will continue to be unmanageable. That's what you're saying in step 1. The rest of it is about finding a higher power. And honest to God, you guys, I don't even know that I got this till late in my middle years of my teens, you know, of my my 13, 15 years. I don't even know that I really understood this. That sobriety was about finding a higher power, okay? Not telling you that you have to believe in a specific higher power, but a power greater than, a power that you believe in, higher power, cleaning up the wreckage of your past, being of service to others, and applying these principles in all of your affairs. That's what a 12-step program is about, living a right life, right? So what makes me sad when I hear people say, well, I stopped doing this and this and this, but I'm still smoking pot every day. Like, hey, listen, as far as life goes, I am really, really happy that you're alive, okay? And I am really happy that you are here. And I'm really, really happy that you don't have the need. And I hope that continuing to use doesn't lead you back to that substance, because I just want people to live. I don't want people to die. But here's the thing. For me, the reason that I'm here today isn't because I put one substance down for another, or that I abstained from that's a huge part of it. Okay, just not drinking for today. But the bigger part of that is that I went in and I removed those reasons why I was using those substances. I removed the reasons why I was numbing myself. I worked on those issues. I continue to work on those issues. And that's it. It's like, that's my medicine. As long as you continue to work on those issues, then you don't have a reason to use. When you clean up the wreckage of your past and you don't continue to then do things that you're going to need to make amends for, and then if you do, you make amends for them when it happens, right? Then you continue to live this right life, and if you continue to live this right life, then you have skills and tools to live by. It's a design for living. You don't have a reason to go back and use. So what ultimately makes me sad about these people is that they haven't been given that freedom of spirit. So not only, so it's not about, for me anymore, this argument of whether you're truly sober or you're not truly sober. For me, what it is that you still got all this stuff that's clogging you up inside. And that makes me sad. And usually you can tell, because a lot of people that I have known that get to a certain point and they're not willing to do some stuff. It's like, and it's not just about staying abstinent. I mean, I know people in sobriety that have been sober for long periods of time. This is where the time has nothing to do with it. I have friends of mine, I have friends of mine, people that I know that have been sober for long periods of time, and their lives don't look like what I want, because they aren't actively doing the work, and it makes me sad, and they'll even come to meetings and say, or say to me, I don't know what to do, and it's like, do the work, I don't want people dying from addiction anymore, so alive, is better than anything. But I feel like if you're alive, why not work on it, I don't really know how that works for people. I do understand it. I feel like I've known in my life quite a few, specifically, I've known quite a few heroin addicts that quit using heroin and opioids, and then they smoke pot. I feel like I've known quite a few of those in my life, and, I get it. I also wonder, though, oh, this is dangerous. Well, in the realm of talking about addiction, there are people that are substance abusers for a period of time, but then, down the road, they're not addicts, if that makes sense. I believe I am an addict, okay? But are there people out there that, let's say, from 16 to 19, they're just using all this stuff, they're wild, whatever, and then they maybe, get help and they stay sober for a couple years, and then down the road they can drink a glass of wine in the evening with their husband or wife, or go out or smoke a joint every once in a while. Yes, I do believe that there are people out there that are like that. I do. But how do you tell if you're that person or not? I guess it stopped. I didn't even know it was at 30 minutes. I was just sitting here and all of a sudden it just the camera shut off. That was the craziest. So I don't even know what I was talking about then, but I was getting into talking about how 20 years ago, one of my closest friends, she and I are in different 12-step programs. And 20 years ago, I can just remember, like, I hung around with a lot of people from a lot of different programs, you know, and there would be kind of like this joking idea of like one program was better than another or whatever. It was joking, right? But I think that there were some like feelings about that. It wasn't even so much about our program is better than yours. I think it was a need to defend or something. I don't know. And then, you know, I started meeting a lot of people that would be like, well, I'm sober, but I smoke pot. Like, that was like the thing that started happening a lot about 15, 20 years ago. I started hearing that a lot. And my first reaction to that was like, I don't know how that works. Like, that, I think it kind of honestly, personally scared me because I loved smoking pot. I loved it, you know? And then all of a sudden I was presented with this idea of people that were sober, but they were smoking pot. And I can remember I said to my sponsor at the time, I asked him what he thought about that. And he goes, I think if it works for them, that's great. It wouldn't work for me. And I said something about it. He goes, it's none of your business what they do. If that's what they want to do and they want to come to meetings and they want to smoke pot, that's on them. Let them do that. And I was like, okay, I'm not part of that, right? And that's kind of been my attitude in sobriety, you know? But do I think there was a jealousy factor? Yeah. Like, when it comes to the legalization of marijuana, like, I am 100% behind the legalization of marijuana. I am 100% behind the decriminalization of marijuana. Would I like to go into a cannabis shop and see what that looks like? I sure would. That's the addict in me. Does it scare the hell out of me? No, not really. Do I think I could walk through a cannabis shop and kind of look at things and be like, oh, this is interesting? Yeah, but I have to tell you, in all of my 26 years, 11 months, and 2 days of sobriety, like, that is, like, the one thing that, like, I have thought about through the years is smoking pot. So, like, my mind is not one that can think about that a whole lot, you know? And I know that there are people that are like, well, I don't think marijuana is a drug. Well, it was the way that I used it. You know, when you're using it chronically and you're using it every single day and whatever, and it's mood altering, you know, it was for me, and I can only speak to what's best for me. So I don't know, you know, like, I think that's the thing that I have learned is that other people's experiences are not my own, and I can only share my experience and strength of hope of what works for me. And I can tell you that as a result of working steps, as a result of surrounding myself by people that work 12-step programs that have been sober for very long times, as a result of keeping it fresh and being around the newcomer and seeing the new person come in and hearing what it was still like out there for them and realizing that that's probably what it'll still be like for me. Service work, you know, basic text, going to meetings, having a sponsor, working steps, all of that kind of stuff, that as a result of that, I have the life that I have today. And that's, you know, like, that's where I'm at with it today. I don't know what else to do about it or say about it other than that, you know? And I just try to be there if anybody asks me, you know, like, what to do. Like, one of the questions I get asked a lot is, and it's interesting how often I get asked this question, and then people are immediately resistant to it. So let me tell you the question. There used to be this restaurant over here, by the way, that was called Eddie Met Salad, and Alex and I talk about it all the time, how much we miss it. We used to go there all the time and get salads, and it was so good, and it's closed down. It's now the hot yoga room. But anyway, people will contact me and be like, my partner, my sister, my brother, my dad, my best friend, whatever, is getting sober or is struggling. Like, what's the best advice that you have for me? The best advice I have for you is to get in our sister program, which is called Al-Anon, or Nar-Anon, which is a 12-step program for friends and family of addicts. Al-Anon is a 12-step program for friends and family of alcoholics and addicts. It will not teach you how to fix that person or how to control them or how to take care of them. It'll teach you the 3 C's, which are, I didn't cause the disease, I can't control the disease, and I can't cure the disease. And it'll teach you who you are in relation to that program, and you will work 12 steps in relation to the alcoholic or the addict in your life, and you will work on yourself. By working on yourself, what you'll realize is how to set healthy limits and boundaries with people, with addicts, because the reality is that person may go in and out for the next 20 years. That person may stay sober. Their job is to do what they need to do to stay sober. That's the addict's job, okay? The support person's job is to say, what can I do for you? Is there anything that I can do to support you? And not enable their addiction in any way. Don't give them cash. Don't buy them alcohol. Don't buy them drugs. Don't pay off their drug debts. Whatever. Be supportive. If they want you to go to treatment, go with them to treatment. If they want you to go to counseling sessions, go with them to counseling sessions. If they want you to go to doctor's appointments, go with them to doctor's appointments. If they'd like for you to go to an open meeting, which means anybody can go with them to an open meeting. But also get yourself the help. And what's interesting to me is that I get so many people that are like, well, what else would you recommend? It's like they don't want to hear that. And I'm like, well, this is what I'm recommending, you know? Like, go work a program on yourself, and as you're getting better, that person will get better too. And then the other thing is this, is if they don't get better, you will learn how to take care of yourself by having an addict or an alcoholic in your life, and your life will improve, and you'll learn how to stay healthier. And if they do stay sober, oh my God. I mean, the families that I know where one member, or the husband and the kids, or the wife and the kids are in Al-Anon or Nar-Anon, and the other spouse or whatever is in the 12-step program, I mean, they are some of the healthiest families I know, you know? And all you have to do is just put in your city, like Indianapolis and Al-Anon on Google, and it'll pull up either a number that you can call and they can help you find meetings, or it'll give you a list and you can find meetings. But, you know, I don't know. It's like, for me, I do want to say this, though, and I think this is important. And I may have said things tonight that I need to clarify, because I'm talking about some serious stuff, so I may need to clarify some things tomorrow or the next day. But when it comes to Suboxone, I do feel differently about this, okay? Any doctor that is worth their weight, that is prescribing Suboxone to an addict, so Suboxone is buprenorphine, and it is a maintenance drug that is for a slow detox, okay? So what it does is, when you go in, and it's for opioid users, heroin, opioid users. And the initial, I was trained way back in the day to work with this doctor, to work with patients. So I was there from the very beginning. And the initial reasoning behind working with Suboxone was for people that had had several failed attempts at treatment and just could not stay sober and were going to die from heroin overdoses or opioid overdoses. And so they put them on Suboxone. Now, what they did was, at the beginning, it's so completely changed, and there are so many doctors that are just randomly prescribing this stuff. It's all over the streets. People are abusing Suboxone. You can abuse Suboxone. People are abusing Suboxone. People are, using dope on the weekends and then using Suboxone during the week so that they can function during jobs and things like that, okay? I think we have this idea in our head that all heroin addicts look like they should be living on street corners, when most of the heroin addicts that I have met in my life are people that are actually living successful lives, are moms and dads and have jobs that you would never in a million years guess related to your stereotype that is what a heroin addict looks like. That's scary, because that's how people die, because nobody really has any idea what's going on. Heroin addicts, to me, to be honest, but for the grace of God, I never picked up that drug, because I can tell you right now, had I picked up heroin, I would have fallen in love with it and I would be dead today. I know that. But heroin addicts, to me, I mean, all addicts hide their addiction, right? All addicts and alcoholics, we try to, but when you're an alcoholic and you're wasted drunk 24 hours a day, it's really kind of hard to hide that from people, But I will tell you, the scariest thing about heroin and opioid addicts is that they do a very good job of hiding their addiction from other people a lot of the time. And what's scary about that is that it's almost too late and people find them dead. And I think that's what happens a lot, because they just hide stuff well from people. It's really scary. But at first, what happened with Suboxone was that you would go see a doctor 3 times. There were only, like, in the state of Indiana at the time, there were only 2 doctors in the entire state of Indiana, okay, that were certified to prescribe Suboxone. You had to go into a doctor's appointment like 2 or 3 times a week. You had to give random drug screens that were monitored by the state. Like, they would just call you randomly and say, it's time for a drug screen, you have to go in today. Well, I can't go in today. Then you're not getting your Suboxone. They would only give you like a week's worth of Suboxone, if even that. It was like 4 or 5 days or something like that. It was so closely monitored. In addition to that, you had to be in an outpatient program, and that was with just other people that were in Suboxone, or that were on Suboxone. This is how it was when I don't know how much it changed in other states or whatever, but, and then you also had to go to 12-step meetings. You had to work a 12-step program and have a sponsor and all that kind of stuff. It was highly, highly, highly monitored. Well, what happened was, pharma, hello, we know about all of that, and it started loosening the constrictions on Suboxone prescriptions, and so then other doctors were able to prescribe it. They didn't have to have whole systems set up behind it. I mean, I knew one point, this doctor in Indianapolis, that he was prescribing astronomical amounts of Suboxone, and every addict in town knew that and went to this doctor because they could get like something ridiculous like 150 pills at a time that they could sell for street value, and they could also manage their use through the week, and which is super, super dangerous to like use for 4 days and then be on Suboxone. I mean, it's really dangerous, you guys. It's super dangerous. So now Suboxone is used in a lot of different ways, and it got a negative connotation for a while. And so there are a lot of people to this day that believe that if you are on Suboxone, that you are not sober, okay? And that you're not working at 12, like if you go to 12-step meetings and you're on Suboxone, that you're not sober because you're not abstinent. For me, okay, I have to say that this is one of the exceptions for me, because I do believe it is. I do believe that these are people that are, because what eventually happens is, so you go in and they tell you not to use for like 2 or 3 days. Did you guys see the movie 4 Days? It was kind of like that, but that was a Vivitrol shot, and I've actually, the Vivitrol shot is similar, but I've known a lot of people that have used on that Vivitrol shot. I mean, they get real sick and then they use through it, and I don't know. So, and I think she used in the movie after she had the Vivitrol shot. If I'm right, I think she did. And then she ended up getting sober after that. I can't remember, but that movie was fantastic. But basically what happened to her in the movie is what used to happen with Suboxone, is where they would go in and, so like let's say if these were your levels, they would say, okay, you can't use for 3 days, we've got to get your levels down to here. And I don't know what those numbers are, but they would get your numbers down to here, and then when you came in, they would lift them up just a little bit by putting you on Suboxone, right? And then what would happen is, like over a period of 6 months to a year is what it was supposed to be, they would slowly detox you. While you were doing that, you're working a 12-step program, right? So, and the thing is that Suboxone is, like, if you are somebody that is taking Suboxone because, and you're taking it per prescribed by a addictionologist that knows what they're talking about, and you're doing everything else, you wouldn't know that that person was on Suboxone. Does that make sense? Like, you wouldn't know, because they're not abusing it. They're taking it as it's prescribed. It's like somebody that truly, truly is ADHD. It's like if you give Adderall to somebody that's not truly ADHD, they seem speedy, you know? But like if you give it to somebody that truly is ADHD, like you can't even tell that they're on Adderall, which makes other people speedy because they need the Adderall. Like, it functions for them, right? Okay, so it's kind of similar to, I mean, it's not, but it, you know, same idea. So anyway, so I don't have a problem with people that are on Suboxone, that are working a 12-step program, that are going to meetings, that are in an outpatient program, that are doing it the way that they're supposed to be doing it, because we're saving lives, right? But what I do worry about is people that are manipulating Suboxone. That's a whole other story, you know? But I get people out there all the time, you know, it's like, that say, I mean, first of all, the jury's still out on all that, because, I mean, like in Europe, I know that they're using Suboxone for like, they're using it for like people for the rest of their lives. Like, they're using it for an antidepressant, they're using it for people that, like, they stop using and then they get on Suboxone and they're just on Suboxone for the rest of their lives. And I know people like that all the time. I get messages or comments from people all the time that are like, thank you for talking about Suboxone. Like, I've been on Suboxone for 5 years and it saved my life. You know, why would I ever tell that person that they shouldn't be on something that's saving their life? I would never do that, right? I would never say that there's anything wrong with that. What I would say is, I hope that you're working on the other stuff, which was the reason why you were using the opioids to begin with, like, and figuring out what that was about, because I wouldn't want somebody, just because you fix that part doesn't mean that that's not a person that's living with this emptiness inside of them. And I'll tell you, one of the worst places I have ever been in my entire life, okay, was the 4 years that I wasn't drinking and I wasn't drugging and I wasn't going to meetings and I didn't have any spiritual foundation or emotional sobriety in my life. I mean, I had nothing filling up that void inside of me, which was the reason why I used to use. And that's what makes me sad about it, okay? Is that we have all of these answers today. It's like that program in Northern California, I can't remember what it is, but basically what that doctor did was he took the 12 steps and then he just like turned them into his treatment program, which, okay, fine. I think that's, you know, good for you. And then charged all these rich people $100,000 a month when they could have just gone to 12-step meetings. I mean, once they got detoxed, I don't know. But it's like we come up with all of these, like, fancy ways, you know, of, like, moving around what works for some. And I'm not saying 12-step programs work for everybody. They don't, you know. I think you got to do what works for you. That's why I say this is just my experience, strength and hope of what works for me. But I'll tell you, by the time that I was done this last time and I got sober, I had tried a hell of a lot of ways to do it on my own, and none of them worked. And I can tell you right now, I had no desire to dedicate or commit my life to a life of working a 12-step program. I was like, who, me? Are you kidding me? I don't want to be doing this thing. You think I wanted to sit in meetings for the rest of my life and hang out with a bunch of old people? That was not my dream when I got sober. I was like, I don't want this. Forget it, right? But, you know, once I did it, and I think that people think it's like this holy experience that, like, we do it. It's like we're, you know, talking in tongues and stuff, and that we're all of us so excited about it. I can't tell you how many Tuesday nights going to my home group, I'm like, God, I wish I could just stay home tonight and watch a movie. And then I leave, and I feel so great when I've left because I've got stuff off my chest, you know? I can't tell you how many times I've sat down to do work with my sponsor. I didn't have any desire to do that. I didn't want her in my business telling me what I should and shouldn't do, telling her, you know, that her asking me, why am I holding on to this resentment, or why am I unwilling to make amends to this person? You know, half the time I wanted to say, F you, it's none of your damn business. But I don't, you know. Many times I've gotten calls from somebody asking me for a ride, or, you know, asking me for this or asking me for that, and I'm just like, God, today I've got so many things going on. And then I remember, you know, people did it for me. I'm here today because there were people there for me. So shut your mouth and go do what's asked, you know. And it's given me a purpose, and it's given me a place that I belong. And like I said, I'm not saying that it's for everybody. I don't think that it is. But don't judge it before you try it. It might be exactly where you belong. Hell, I used to think it was a bunch of old fuddy-duddies that just sit around and drink coffee and smoke cigarettes. And I was right. I was right, it is. No, today, I mean, it's like there's so many different age groups and, you know, 12-step programs, but... And I think every different city has, you know, different 12-step programs and different. I mean, Indianapolis is pretty thriving when it comes to all 12-step programs, like Heroin Anonymous. I don't go to Heroin Anonymous, but I heard that it is just like booming in Indianapolis. People love the meetings here, you know. And again, like a lot of what I'm saying tonight, I'm talking around. Oh, did it just come on now? A lot of what I'm saying tonight, I'm kind of like talking around. Hold on just a second. Okay, it's always easier just to stop the camera. A lot of what I'm saying tonight, I'm kind of like talking around things because, like, I'm not going to say specific things about, you know, I'm not a representative of a 12-step program. I am just a person sharing my experience, strength, and hope, like I keep on saying, you know, because I want to get that across. This is just how I feel. And everybody feels differently, and everybody has different opinions about all this stuff, you know. I just don't want people dying anymore. I just don't want people's families wrecked anymore. You know, it's like, it was a long time ago that, like, I mean, I was probably at that point, I don't even know, 20, 30 funerals in. It was still early in sobriety, but probably 20 or 30 funerals in, where I was sitting there at somebody's funeral, and I thought, it was this girl's funeral, and I thought, what about her kids? You know, I mean, she didn't have any kids, but I was like, she's not gonna have any kids now. I mean, those kids could have grown up and they would have started families. I mean, and their kids would have had kids. I mean, whole lines of families are destroyed, you know, and who knows what she would have gone on to do or what her kids would have gone on to do, you know. Her in-laws that she never met, the dreams that she never had. And all of a sudden, you know, it's like, because I think sometimes you start getting real immune to this stuff, and when you're around it a lot, it's like, oh, did you hear so-and-so died, you know, and it's like, you know, when you start seeing it as death of hopes and dreams and lifelines and families, and man, it's hard to look away and see, you know, and not see all that. I just don't want people to die anymore at any expense, you know. But there's a lot of joy in sobriety too, you know. It's like celebrating my friend's 5-year birthday the other night. I remember the day that last time that her last use, she was done. She was, I mean, I'm not talking about done with using, I'm talking about done with living, you know. She's such an inspiration to me today. And it wasn't like she was like, I mean, I've known her for, God, I've probably known her for 12 or 15 years now. But it wasn't like she was like, I'm here, I'm back. I mean, she did not want to be sober, and now she has repaired her relationships, and you know, she's a dear friend of mine, and I have so many friends like that, you know. Another friend of mine that celebrated 2 years, another friend of mine that celebrated 7 years, another friend of mine that celebrated 35 years, you know, or it's every week there's, you know, people, there's so much hope and joy, and I do want to say this, like when I was talking about people that don't use, I have like several friends of mine from back in the day that I used to use hardcore drugs and drink with. I mean, they drank alcoholically. They used hardcore drugs. And they never went to treatment. They never went to 12-step programs. They just removed themselves from the situation. They stopped using. My one friend, I mean, he has an unbelievable job today. You know, I didn't think he'd come out alive, you know, and he went to college, got his master's degree, bought a house, you know, in the suburbs, and he is extremely happy today, very healthy. He's like real into like riding bikes and stuff. He's like super healthy. And I mean, he and I can literally remember us sitting in the car, running to the car, doing lines of Coke off of our keys, like literally, and drinking a bottle of Jägermeister, you know, before even going out. And I think he was the one that actually introduced me to Jack Daniels. You know, I mean, we drank so much together. I would never in a million years would have guessed that he has the life that he has today. He wasn't an addict and an alcoholic. Do I believe that he abused a substance for a period of his life? Yeah. And he tried to stop, and it worked for him, you know. And, you know, he went to school, he tried to replace it with school and replace it as a healthy relationship today, and all of those things replaced it for him, and he's happy, joyous, and free as a result of that, right? He didn't need to work a 12-step program, but maybe had he tried 3 or 4 times and it didn't stick and it didn't work, I hope that he would have called me up and said, like, what are you doing? You know, why is this work for you? And that's it, you know? That's where I say I don't think everybody is an addict just because you used heavily at one period of your life. But if you've tried to remove that from your life and you can't, or you find yourself making excuses, then maybe ask yourself, is there another way, you know? I don't know. And that's where the California sober thing is for me. I think the people that are successful on California sober are probably not people that were ever like, do I think that they might have used hardcore at one point or another? Sure, absolutely. Do I think that they are like physically, see like here's the deal, right? research shows that we do not know scientifically if somebody, there's not a test you can do on somebody, like literally, like a scientific blood test that you can say, is this person an addict or not? There are things in the brain that when somebody dies in the hypothalamus that you can look for and see if this person might have been more attuned to be an addict or not, right? But you still don't really know. So, do I believe that people that California Sober works for are people, and there is like a thought process behind California Sober. It's not just moderated use, right? But do I think that there are people that used hardcore and are able to follow it and they are successful? Sure, absolutely. And living happy lives, I'm sure, right? Do I believe that they were a person like me that would, I don't know. I don't know why it works for them, but it does. And I'm happy for them that it does. I don't want anybody to suffer as a result of this, and I don't think that my way or our way is the only way, you know? But I think for other people, and maybe this is what it is with Demi Lovato, that it's just, I did not think I would sit here and talk at length about this tonight, I really didn't. But maybe for Demi Lovato, it's just a stepping stone along the way, you know? I had lots of stepping stones before I got sober. I had lots of situations where I tried to stop, or I was stopping because of probation, or, you know, like I went to outpatient programs, but I wasn't serious about it. All kinds of stuff. I had lots of stepping stones, you know? I was going to get real healthy and I was going to like run every day, and I did run every day. And I would come home and have a drink, you know? Like that didn't work. So, I mean, there were all kinds of things that I tried, sure, you know? And then finally I found one that stuck. And I'm thankful that it did. But like I said, it's not for everybody, you know, and I know that. And the timing, I think, isn't for everybody. I mean, sometimes, you know, like Tanya always says, maybe they haven't had enough pain. And I think that's the truth. You know, it's like, you have to have a lot of pain to be willing to give something up, you know? I don't know. I know I was afraid to die and I was afraid to be homeless. Those were my two things. And I knew if I continued to use, I would be. So I was like, okay, Peter, you gotta pull this together. But even then, like, I was like, why with everything, you know? And like I said, and I want to make this very, very clear, everything that I have shared in this video is just my opinion, okay? It's just how I see things. It's just my experience, my strength, my hope, my story. It is not representative of anybody else or any 12-step program. It's just what I see. You know, if you have specific questions about it, or wondering about something, you know, please feel free to email me and ask me. You know, I'm more than willing to, if I know, if you make a suggestion of what's worked for me, I'm more than willing to do that. I'm not a lifesaver. I'm not a savior in any way. You know, my recommendation would be to call a 12-step program in your area if you're thinking about doing that, and having them hook you up with a meeting. You know, find out treatment. You can look up accredited treatment programs in your area and see what's out there. I think the other thing I would recommend too, like, you know, one of the questions I get a lot from people is, my husband or my wife won't go to marriage counseling and I really want to go. What would you do? Or, you know, my husband or my wife won't go to treatment and I really want them to go. What should I do? And I think the initial reaction to that is like, well, if your husband or your wife won't go to marriage counseling and you want them to go, then leave them, right? Like, I think that's where we probably go in our heads. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm glad that my husband did not when I was that resistant. He also laid it on the line and said, if we don't go to counseling, we're not going to make it, because I'm not going to stay in a relationship that's this unhealthy because we're not happy together. And I'm thankful that he said that. But It's so funny me saying that because Alex and I we're really like, okay, going into 2020 or going into 2022, we've been saying this forever since we stopped seeing our old counselor. And we stopped seeing our old counselor not because we were done, but because he retired from the field. Like, he went into a completely different field. He's like flipping houses now. Like he got his dream job, and so he was like, I mean, not that counseling wasn't his dream job, and he was fantastic, but he like just one day was like, you guys, I have this opportunity I just can't turn down, and I'm closing down my practice and whatever. So like, if it hadn't been for that, like, we would still be seeing him. So Alex, because we just think it is so helpful to our marriage, so we have been like bouncing this back and forth for like the last like year, 2-3 years actually. And then when the lockdown happened, we weren't real like, I'm an in-person kind of person. Like, I have a lot of friends of mine that are counselors that do Zoom sessions, and I know people love the Zoom sessions. For me, I don't love it. And so I was like, well, I don't really want to go back until we can go in person. But we started looking for people, and we found a couple different people that we liked, just like by their online profile. The other thing is, counselors are so far out right now by booking first appointments. So we were just actually talking about this, and we were like, okay, going into 2022, we're going to have a first appointment set up with a new counselor. Like, that is one of our goals for going into the new year. So we've actually got to get on that in the next week so that we have an appointment set up going in. Since we had a guy before, we looked up guys again, and so we were looking at a couple different guys. So that'll be exciting. I feel like that's kind of like when you want to be a better singer, you go to a voice coach. It's kind of similar to that, you know? I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to say I always felt the greatest after every session, because sometimes I felt like crap and I felt like I had just been torn apart. But I always felt like there was a healing process to that. And many times I did leave there and I just felt like, God, like, our marriage is like so much better than it was. And that was the total result of it, you know? So I'll let you guys know when we find that. But that would be the other thing I would say, you know, is like, if your partner doesn't want to go to counseling, schedule your own appointment and let them know, be honest, and say, hey, since you don't want to go, I'm going to go on my own, you know, and you're more than welcome to come. And, you know, and after I go once, if I continue with it, you're more than welcome to come again or come with me, you know. Do I think that those people, that they'll change and say, oh, those people have a white flocked Christmas tree with red lights in their front porch, it was so pretty. Do I think that your partner might change and say, oh, like, I've changed my mind, I want to go now? Some. Do I think that some might want to go down the road? Some. Do I think that some might say, well, I don't want any part of this and I'm never going to go, and they don't ever go? Yes, I think some as well. And then I think that's something that you would work on with your counselor and decide, is this, you know, the relationship that I need to stay in or not? But at that point, I think that that's something that I hope, that's a tough decision, you know? Like, I really wish, like with my exes, that I would have been seeing somebody at that time that I really could have processed with them my thoughts and my feelings of what I was going through, you know? And, I remember my ex was seeing this counselor who I knew of and thought great things of, but he came home one day and he was like, she said that I should paint our bedroom a color that makes me happy. And so she asked me what color makes me happy, and I said yellow, which is like my least favorite color, okay? And he goes, and he knew that too. And she said yellow. And so she said that you have to go along with it. I don't believe she said this in retrospect. I'm just going to say, if she did say it, I don't believe that. This is the other reason why couples should go together, okay? Or whatever, because I think sometimes, like, there's a lot lost in translation. Do I think that she has suggested to him, hey, I think it would be great if you painted your bedroom a color that would make you, because he was saying that when he got up in the morning, he wasn't motivated or whatever. So do I think that she said, you know, you should paint your bedroom a color that will make you happy? Which one of your favorite colors? Yellow. Oh, yellow. Well, what would Peter think about that? Well, Peter doesn't like the color yellow. Well, maybe talk to him about it, you know. But his translation of that was, She said you have to let me do it, and she said you also have to help me paint the room. Oh my God, this battery is dying too. So he ends up moving out. I get stuck with this horrific yellow bedroom that I hated. We did paint it though. That was probably one of our most fun days together, painting that room. I am such a bad painter, you guys. I am like so horrible at it. But yeah. Let's just all get better, you know? Like, let's figure out, all of us. I mean, I know not everybody's an addict, and not everybody has marriage problems, and not everybody, and I don't want all of my vlogs to be dedicated to that. I want my vlogs to be fun and silly and happy and all that stuff, talking about cozy Christmas stuff as well, right? But how long has this vlog been? And I am like, this second battery is dying too. But I do want to say that, you know, like, whatever it is that we're going through in our lives right now, whatever it is our struggle that we're struggling with, let's make a commitment that we're going to work on that together, you know, as a group, and that we are going to push ourselves in the direction of having the best life possible, on working on our issues and being the healthiest we can possibly be in our lives, and that can maybe be our group unified commitment to going into the new year. I think that would be a great commitment for all of us to make, that we're going to do our best at living the healthiest possible lives that we possibly can. So that being said, I'm going to get off here now and listen to a little bit of my audiobook before I go home. So if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Yeah, if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. And I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Friday. I cannot believe it is Friday already. First week of December down, Friday down. Oh, the book club is on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be talking about October and November's books. So please come over and join us. And I think that's it. So I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya! Oh, and for those that need to hear it, and those that want to hear it, and those that just happen to stick around, happy birthday, Lena. No. One more I love you. Still kind of lost my voice.